Good afternoon, it's Nicholas from Andor Gaming, and we got some new Tenyi support revealed, which is really exciting. This is a worm archetype. You're probably very familiar with it with Swordsouls, and yeah, they got 3 new cards, which is really exciting and really awesome. So let's get straight into this. So first things first, we have Tenyi Spirit Sarua. This is a light worm tuner effect monster, level 4, 1600 attack, 0 defense. This is again a light worm level 4 tuner, so keep that all in mind for all you guys wanting to play engines for this deck. Keep in mind that you can only use the first second of this card's name once a turn. If you control a worm monster or a non-effect monster, special summon this card from your hand. If this card is sent to graveyard as synchro material for a worm monster, you can special summon one Tenyi link monster from your extra deck. It can't be used as link material. Then you lose life points equal to its link rating times 1,000. This card's crazy as fuck. This basically says, hey, when I'm sent to graveyard to make a synchro worm, just make a link monster. Oh, you made a link 4? Oh, you just take half your life points. Who cares? You just cheat out link 4. Ain't that crazy? You just cheat out the link 4 now. Or the link 3. Now we have a new Tenyi Spirit Mura Horaya. This is a light worm synchro effect monster, level 8, 3000 attack, 0 defense. This has some really badass artwork, I'm not going to lie to you guys. It requires a tuner and a non-tuner monster. You can only use the first effect of this card saying once a turn. This card is synchro summon and you have 2 or more worm monsters in your graveyard or banishment. Add 1 field spell from your deck to hand. Now you're probably wondering, what the hell field spell does this deck have? What does Tenyi play? Well, if you don't realize, Tenyi actually has a field spell that allows them to draw 2 cards if they control a normal monster. It's an interesting field spell, but I think we have a new one now that's better. I can't wait to read that one. So this guy just searches your field spell, which is pretty solid. Then, this card gains these effects based on if there's a non-effect monster on the field. If there's a non-effect monster on the field, this card can't be destroyed by opponent's card effects. The opponent can't target this card with opponent's card effects and can make 2 attacks during each battle phase. Pretty solid. Finally, we have Eternal Perfection of Tenyi. This is the new field spell for the deck, because I guess the old one wasn't as good enough. You only activate the first card of his name once a turn, and the second effect of this card's name once a turn. When this card resolves, add 1 Vessel of the Dragon Cycles or Heavenly Dragon Cycles from your deck to hand. That's a really, really great search right there, because if you don't know, both those cards are very important when it comes to the Tenyi. Basically allows you to cycle through them from deck, and it's a really, really good card. Second effect of this card says you contribute 1 worm monster to target 1 monster on the field and destroy it. That's also really good. I wish it said destroy a worm you control to destroy 1 monster your opponent controls, because then if you're playing a deck like, let's say, Yang Zings, which is also a worm-based strategy, they all have effects when they are destroyed, so that would have been really cool, but it says tributes or whatever. And then the third effect of this card is once a turn during your end phase, you can send this card to the graveyard. If you do, place 1 Flawless Perfection of Tenyi from your deck or graveyard to your face-up field spell. So this is the other field spell that I told you about earlier. Basically, it's the old Tenyi field spell, which is pretty okay at best. It's not the greatest, but it's pretty cool. I'll read it to you just to make sure you don't, if you don't remember. But basically what this card does is that all non-effect monsters on the field are unaffected by monster effects. And then once per turn, if your opponent spell summons a monster while you control a face-down monster or a non-effect monster, draw 2 cards. So basically it makes all your vanilla monsters towers. Also, when your opponent summons a monster, you draw 2. Overall, these cards are really, really solid. I don't know, like, I guess for pure Tenyi, they'll play the field spells now, which is really, really cool. The biggest issue with the Tenyis has been, for the longest time, they've just been an engine for Swordsouls. Like, Swordsouls is definitely their heart and butter, and I don't think this changes anything. Like, don't get me wrong, these cards are pretty solid, but, like, I think this Tenyi Spirit Sarua will definitely see play in Swordsoul itself. It is just a generic worm tuner, level 4 monster that says, hey, you're playing a worm deck, special summon me for free. That's actually pretty insane. And then its new Synchro 8 searches any field spell from your deck to hand. It does not have to search your Eternal Perfection of Tenyi. So even if you don't like this card, the Eternal Perfection of Tenyi, you can probably search out any field spell in the game. which is actually kind of insane for Sword Soul. Allowing you to have access to like Secret Village of the Spellcasters, or allowing you to have access to Necro Valley, or any field spell you want. Now, of course, Necro Valley and Secret Village are the best examples because one, this isn't a spellcaster deck, it's a worm deck, and two, Necro Valley kind of hurts the Tenyi because they all want to banish themselves from grave to do extra effects. But you know what I mean. Any field spell deck any deck that can search any field spell in the game is already pretty solid. Not to mention Tenyi Sword Soul is already a really cool deck that kind of fell out of favor for a while now, just because the cards got power crept. And this could maybe push it back into the meta. If someone can find out some really cool combinations with these cards, they're all generic, they don't lock you into anything, so who knows? Maybe there's some huge potential for Tenpai, or not Tenpai, what am I saying? For Tenyi Sword Soul to return back into the meta. We'll just have to see. But anyway, I hope you all enjoy. Don't do anything stupid. See y'all next one, and bye-bye.